Hey friends, it's Stacy with Stacy Makes, and if you are new here, I am a small crochet business owner of a boutique called Apple Tree Boutique, and I sell at markets and in a local booth, and I design patterns, and I just bring you cozy crochet content usually. So welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are not new. I appreciate you being here. So this week we're going to get into what I made this week. My market plan. I have a market in 2 weeks, and I also have another one pattern, different yarns to show you guys. So that's exciting. And so just hang in there, and we'll get to the one pattern, different yarns first. Then we'll go through what I made and talk about a couple of the new patterns, and then my market plan. So welcome. This week's featured pattern that I did in different yarns, which I don't do it every week, but I did it a couple weeks ago with little baby cows. If you didn't catch that, catch that. So it was interesting to take one pattern and make it in different size yarns and just kind of see the size difference. So I did the same thing this week, and you guys voted, and it was really close on my community poll. And every day there for a while, it was switching back and forth between baby frogs from Madeline Mako and baby turtles, which is a free Instagram pattern. So I went with the baby turtles. I screenshotted it the day that I said I gotta get going on one or the other to make this work. So anyway, so baby turtles it was, which is a free pattern by lmsart.co and cofire.co on Instagram. I'll link it down in the description as always, and it's a really unique pattern. It is no-sew. You do, like most turtles, you do make the head. And then you set it aside and you make the shell, and then you crochet the head into the round as you do the bottom body. I follow the pattern just like it is written, except for the very last row of decreases. I skip that row and I go ahead and weave in and close off. So that's the only thing that I make. It's just a personal preference. And then I weave my yarn up through the head and pull the head tight to the body to pull it back and connect it a little bit more, and then tie off. So anyway, that is the pattern that we're doing this week. And I normally make these in Sweet Snuggles Light, and I sell them for $8 in my $8 bin. So this is my normal size, which this one's Sweet Snuggles and Gumdrop Parfait Chunky. It's not really part of the line of turtles that I'm going to show you, but just to kind of give you an idea of this is my normal. And so I'm going to compare, I'm going to start with the largest ones and work down to the very teeny ones, which is so cute. And so it's not a big pattern to begin with. So you can imagine that it didn't get super jumbo, but it did get pretty tiny. So we'll jump in here. So I did, this is Chenille Home Slim and in jumbo size 7 yarn. So you can see how big he is. I'll compare him to the little one. It's cute, worked up just fine, just like all the other ones do. No issues, just used bigger eyes. And he is super cute. So this is, excuse me, Chenille Home Slim, or it'd be like the equivalent of like a Parfait XL. And this is, or a Sweet Snuggles that's not light, just the regular Sweet Snuggles. And this is size 7 jumbo yarn. Cute. Okay, and then I did it in Burnette Blanket, which this is Burnette Blanket, which is a size 6 yarn, but it is there's obviously, if you've been around crochet plushies and yarn very often, you know that the range of actually the sizes of yarn inside of their weights varies. So size 7, size 6 Burnette Blanket. See the size difference here. Okay, I'm just going to hold the latest one. This is Sweet Snuggles Light, which is my normal. Okay. So another size 6, but it is definitely smaller. You can see the difference here. Then I went down to Parfait Chunky. I just love this little guy. Which is also a size 6 yarn. It's definitely a different weight or different fluffy puffiness. So this is Sweet Snuggles Light and Parfait Chunky. Super cute. And then I went down to Posh, which I think the original labels on the Posh said size 6, but they clarified that it actually is a size 5 yarn. And I didn't even look at mine to see if mine say 5 or 6 on them, but this is Posh. Oh, see, they got even smaller, super cute. So Parfait Chunky. This is Posh. And then I went one more down to Baby Bear. I don't have very many colors of Baby Bear because I just got a few to do things like this with, or keychains, and I only had what they had left. So here is the teeniest of all of them, the little Baby Bear, which is the size 5. And it is so tiny. It is so cute. You see it in my hand. Okay. Let's see if we can get all of these. I won't be able to get all of them, I don't think. Excuse me. These. And then I'm going to try to do one more. See if I can do it. Oh my gosh, so freaking cute. There they are, guys. So I used 6 different yarns. So from the bottom up, this is size 7, Chenille Home Slim, Burnette Blanket, Sweet Snuggles Light, Parfait Chunky, Posh, and then Baby Bear. So cute. Okay. I think I'll stick to making them in this size for $8, which that worked out really well and works for me. So I think this is just a good size. So, okay. So let's get on to what I made this week. If you've watched my reels, if you keep up with me on Instagram, you probably see some of these things as the week goes along. But I also wanted to make one more of the fruit snails this week. I did the strawberry through like the very first week the pattern from Garden Hoe Market came out, and I wanted to do another one because I had the bundle already, and I'm like, I'd like to make all of them eventually. But you guys voted, and I ended up doing the orange, which is actually a clementine. She calls it Clementimothy. Hard to say. This is him. This is a pretty easy pattern to follow. It has a unique start to the snail bodies, which is also the way that some of my tag-along patterns start. You actually work some things in, not just single crochets into the magic ring, you actually make these antennae, and so some of my ears on some of my tag-alongs start that way too, so it's not super foreign to me. But and then this is the orange. This is Parfait Chunky. Super cute. I put my eyes a little closer together than I'd really like, but it is what it is. His face is so small. He's so cute. Okay, so I think I'm going to do 12 for the fruit snails. Or no, I had 15. Sorry, I'm doing 15 on the fruit snails, the Strawbert. I'd like to make the whole collection and take them to my next market, but I don't know if that'll happen. Well, not my next market, but the one I have in the summer in June. So this pattern is, which I've talked about these patterns before, but the snail body is just the same for every single fruit. And then there's a pattern for the fruit itself. And then sewing these two together is pretty much the same for every single fruit. Super easy pattern to follow. And honestly, like a good thing about this, since these are 2 different pieces and you sew them together, is that you could actually just make all the fruits and like make a little fruit stand or something with them. You wouldn't even have to make them into snails, but it is super cute as a snail. And then I made 3 of the ice cream cone keychains. I made these for the ice cream shop. If you saw that video where I talked about I made 20 of these for the ice cream shop to give away when they opened this year to their first 20 customers. Okay, so then I had people asking for these at the Eclipse Market in our local town, which is where the ice cream shop is, asked if I had any extras because they missed out on them, and I didn't have any. And I was like, that was probably a bad idea. I advertised them and she tagged me in them, and then I didn't have any. But anyway, these are super, super fast to make up. I mean, I would say these are 8 to 10 minutes max. I've kind of hybrided a couple free patterns together to kind of make my own on this. This is Posh. If you guys are interested in a tutorial real quick, I can do one someday that's super, super fast. So, but anyway, I made 3 of these. I sell these for $6. And then on my lunch break this week, I made 2 chicken nuggets. I was completely out. I sold the 5 that I had over Easter inside Easter eggs. And so I made 2. These are pretty easy to do on my lunch break. So I made 2 the other day. I sold these for $5 a piece. And then I'm decided to go ahead and try to make some things that are not plushies. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I made 6 scrunchies. This is Juicy Couture yarn, and this one's Burnette Velvet, which is pretty similar. But I made 6 scrunchies. These are super easy to make. I use a, it's not the Goody brand scrunchie, and I don't buy the scrunchies at the store, but it's like 100 pack of like the, I don't know what you would call it. It's kind of like a t-shirt yarn material of a ponytail instead of like the super tight ones. And I just do 35-ish. I mean, I just keep filling up I fill up the ponytail holder. I think it's 35-ish to 40 sometimes, single crochets, and then I chain 2 up, and then I 3 double crochets into each single crochet around. Join it, finish off, tie it. So super simple. I think I originally was gonna do 3, but then I timed these the other night. I was doing them $3 a piece or 2 for $5. I think I'm gonna have to do them 5 a piece or 2 for $8 to really make these worth my time. And I think when I go to the bigger markets, I don't know that anyone will bat an eye at that price. So hopefully, so I made 6 of those. And then I made 3 of my Passy fire clips, which I talked about a week or 2 ago. Also Juicy Couture / Burnette Velvet yarn. Oops, I need to weave that little string in apparently. Anyway, these wooden pacifier clips come off of Amazon. And then this is a free tutorial by CJ Design. And I followed it to a T. I didn't change anything with it. So I only did, I do until there's 11 holes. So like, see these holes? That's how I just keep track when I'm doing it. These are super fast too, like 5-6 minutes, and then weaving in the ends. So I'm gonna do $5 a piece on those as well. I had a pretty light week coming off of the eclipse. But then when I added up everything I made last week, and I had $3,000 worth of inventory, I decided that I was going to make something that I wanted to make. It was not necessarily for to sell at the markets, but I did this the last time I had a market too, when I added it up and realized I'd worked so hard, and I had a pattern I wanted to try. I did Camille the Sitting Cow, and then I ended up making 2 of those, and I take them to markets for $45, but they do take me like 2 hours. And but anyway, I wanted to make something else that was just because I wanted to see the creation made. And so I started on this pattern. It took me 8 hours total over 3 or 4 days total, I think is kind of where I fit it in. And he was definitely a labor of love, and I don't know that I'll ever make another one, but maybe the mini version, because I just went all in and went all go big or go home, right? Okay, let me get him. Okay. This is Anchor the Octopus. And I don't even know if I can get him. Oh, there he is. Almost all of them in the shot. He has these really cool bobble tentacles. So, you know, you work these tentacles in rows. You chain. When I sat down to start this pattern, I was like so excited. I picked up my colors. I made sure I had enough of both colors, which you need 2 skeins of your main color and then at least a full skein of the bottom color. And I used every bit of maybe a full skein and maybe 2/3 of the blue. And then I used maybe 3/4 of this gray, maybe 2/3. Anyway, so don't fall short, and make sure you have enough. Excuse me. And so these were like, I sat down and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. I was like, okay, chain 61. And I'm like, holy cow. Chain 61, and then you work back in at all of these bobbles, and then you got to do that 8 times because you got to make 8 of these, and then you do it again for the outsides, and then several rows back and forth, and then you sew all these together. And really, like, the labor is all in these tentacles, like this head part and the eye part, and then this underbelly, which I'll show you. The underbelly this didn't take super long, even though it's big. It was these things that took so long. 45 minutes for one tentacle. And I decided at the beginning I made the gray part, and then I did the outside all together. And then at the end I was like, I just sat and I made all of the gray. I made the last 3 gray strips, and then I did the navy part. Switched. So anyway, this is a super super neat pattern by humblechild.co. which I'll, again, put the link down in the description below. He's definitely just going to be a showpiece. If I was going to price this, I mean, with 8 hours of labor, if you watch my previous videos, I do $15 to $20 an hour plus materials. And I mean, he's got at least $20. I mean, I buy my yarn almost always on sale. So, I mean, I've used, you know, almost 3 skeins. Well, probably 2.5 skeins, but of about $8 a piece. So he might have more like $30 in material in him with the stuffing and the eyes. I would probably do $200 on this guy. If somebody came along and was like, I don't care how much it costs, what do you want out of him? I would probably sell them for $200. But anyway, he's just super neat. I mean, these tentacles are just, look how long they are. This was a neat pattern. Clarity of pattern. I mean, I had 0 issues with this pattern. None at all. The outcome is amazing. I loved this. Burnette blanket, I did take breaks in between to do some other things because just a bigger hook and works my wrist pretty good. Marketability, obviously, this is not something that I would take to a market and hope to sell every day. I think unique people are out there that will buy it for sure, because I know people who do make these and sell them for the price that they are worth, and people are buying them. But it's not like something that you would take 6 of these to a market and sell every one of them, I don't think. But anyway, so this is Anchor the Octopus, my pride and joy, my big jumbo showstopper piece that I created this last week. So let me put Anchor up. So this week, if you count Anchor in my total, I made $341 worth of inventory this week. If you don't count Anchor, I made $141 worth of inventory, which is, like I said, a light week for me. I came off of the market and eclipse and everything just a little bit uninspired. Outside of making Anchor, I was just a little bit uninspired. I feel like I've renewed that, and I'm going to come up with a market plan for the next 2 weeks. But my high level market plan is that I hope to make $250 worth of inventory this week and next week, because the market's in 2 weeks. So I want to make $500 in total outside of this week. I want to make $500 in total, which renews all of the inventory that I sold plus a little bit more from the last market, if you watched that video. So the other thing that I wanted to share with you guys outside of that market plan and the stuff that I made this week and the 6 different yarns and 1 turtle was that I am keeping track. So I had this tote in my craft room, and when a skein of yarn is emptied or is almost emptied and the wrapper comes off, I've been throwing them in here. And I thought, so this is not 100% accuracy, because there are times when I probably finish a skein of yarn and I forget that, oh yeah, I need to take that back into the craft room and throw it in the thing, because I crochet in my living room. And so there's probably a few times where I've thrown away some skein wrappers. And then there's probably some times when these skeins, like some of these that are like taped on to Sweet Snuggles when you go to buy them to begin with, probably sometimes when I throw them in there before the skein is actually empty. So I feel like it's kind of averages itself out. But anyway, I wanted to share with you, since we're a quarter of the way through 2024, which is just crazy to say since we've got through January, February, and March. I wanted to share with you how many skeins of yarn that I kept the papers for. If you have a guess, put that down in the comments really quick. You got about 15 seconds maybe before I tell you how many skeins. I did add these up, and remember, this is January, February, March, and this is not my full-time job. And it may or may not be completely accurate. We'll see. So I added this up by types of yarn. I did have 12 Burnette blanket skeins, wrappers in here. I had 3 Parfait Chunky, which I know is not completely accurate, because I know I emptied 3 or 4 in January, February alone trying to do scraps. But again, they may have been out there and I threw them away. I did 3 Premier Basics chenilles, 10 Loops and Threads Chenille Home Slim and or Sweet Snuggles Light, and then I had 2 jumbo wrappers, which I also know is not right, because I've made some turtles that emptied those. But well, maybe that was in last year though. That may have been last year. Okay, so total number was 30. So there was 30 wrappers in here, and I mean, I think that's okay. 30 wrappers. We'll see by the end of the year. I'm going to try to do a little bit better keeping track for the rest of the next quarter and see if it matches or doesn't match. I know we're getting ready to come into summer where, you know, the weather is nice and you just want to be outside, and you got a lawn to mow, and you got, you know, you just got vacations, and the kids are going to get out of school and stuff like that coming up. So we'll see if I can keep myself up to date with all of that. So okay, I think that's all I have to share this week, guys. So I appreciate you coming, whether you're new or returning to this channel. I post videos. I try every Sunday, and then every once in a while I throw a bonus video in there, like my paint mural and eclipse time lapses. I threw those in there Friday. If you haven't watched that, if you saw my video about the paint mural, which was kind of in one of my crochet videos, and you were like looking forward to seeing that, it's in its own video. I decided to just separate it off so that people that wanted to see it could watch it, and they wouldn't have to be surprised by it in the middle of a crochet video. They're like, why was she talking about painting? So if you want to catch that, it is live, it is available, and it's time-lapsing of me and Tara painting the wall, and then a little time lapse of our eclipse because we were in totality for that. So have a great week, guys. If you like this video, like it. Literally, like, there's a thumbs up, you know, click the thumbs up button. If you want to be notified when I have new videos out so you don't miss any of them, you can subscribe to the channel and you'll get a notification, or in your subscription area you'll be able to see that I have new content out. And you'll also get, for sure, get my community polls and chats, things like that. I've talked about doing a live. I'm kind of gathering some data about whether people like to see it in landscape mode or portrait mode, mobile mode. And it seems like an overwhelming amount of people like to see it in the long form content mode, just like this one is. So I may or may not do a live this week and try that. I don't know. I think that's the biggest thing about doing a live is whether anyone will show up or not. And whether it'll be on a night where people want to see it. And if I do a live, I have to sit in here, probably actually in my craft room instead of in the living room. But we'll see. I thought about doing a live and actually doing a crochet along and crocheting the ice cream keychains or the tumblers or something like that, and actually or my mini baby axolotl pattern, which is free on Instagram, something like that, just to see if you know, we'll walk through the pattern or whatever, and everyone can kind of crochet along if they wanted to, or just chat and market prep, you know. So if you're interested in that, feel free to comment and let me know that, yeah, you would come, and maybe what night. It would have to be a night if it's through the week, because I work full time during the day. So feel free to comment if that is something that you would enjoy seeing. And so again, like, subscribe my channel. Have a great week, guys. Happy crocheting, and we'll see you next week.